Yesterday, at the third Pacific Climate Change Roundtable meeting at the Millennium Hall, most participating countries presented their individual developments in each PACC progress report. Tuvalu's PAC coordinator advised of her country's strategy to implement their projects and transactions leading up to the implementation phase. Tuvalu, one of the most vulnerable islands, needs imminent assistance, and the reality of what is happening in Tuvalu was very visual as participants contemplate their own fate in the fight against climate change. Tuvalu's most needed resource under threat is water. As sea level rise, so does the anxious drive to assist. Nauru, another victim of Mother Nature's tests, poses many threats for the island with water shortages, agricultural product reduction due to lack of rain and drought. However, the island is also trying to develop mechanisms to assist.
There's impact of climate change happening on the livelihoods of the people of Tuvalu. As you can see, the smaller size photo is during the storm surges, or when we have big waves in the country, waves coming from the oceans into the lagoon, crossing the small landmass. And the other bigger picture shows somebody, a person, a man, paddling the canoe in the middle of the village. That's during sea level rises or king tides. And pinning you down right to the issue where Tuvalu is focusing on, PAC Tuvalu is focusing on, which is the water sector.
Nauru, another victim of Mother Nature's tests, poses many threats for the island with water shortages, agricultural product reduction due to lack of rain and drought. However, the island is also trying to develop mechanisms to assist.
For Nauru, we face very bad water shortages. Our daily temperature is 32 to 33 degrees every day. We have very highly varied rainfall, and the last considered good rainfall filling in our water tanks for potable use would probably be about 3 years ago. In PAC project sites, it's the districts of Denik and Iowa. These residents in this district make up about 45% of our population.
Niue's PAC project coordinator, Haran Talangi, presented Niue's progress in focusing on rainwater catchment as part of its strategies towards improvement of community capacity to enhance national strategies.
The overall goal for the PAC project on Niue is to provide every household on Niue with a water tank. Not the abandoned houses with people staying in. In terms of mainstream, we have our Niue National Climate Change Policy developed last year in January. We have also developed, in the process of developing our JNAP with SPC, SOBAC and SPREC. So thank you to those organizations for all their assistance so far. Both documents will also be linked to the new National Strategic Plan from 2009 to 2013. In terms of demonstration, this is a reservoir, part of the government network. And as you can see, the image at the bottom, we have a cement water tank, which can only hold 1,400 litres. Our aim on Niue is to provide household rainwater systems that can contain 10,000 litres. In terms of communications and lessons learned, we have ongoing consultations with our stakeholders. We also have TV spots and ads, as well as a radio program. We also have support the community through village activities and village sodas.
Today we spoke to one of the region's most accelerated islands in its focus on change, Samoa. According to Representative Mulipola Titimaya, Samoa has a lot of focus, and it helped that donor agencies recognize Samoa's efforts in the area of climate change and supports it with aid.
I think there are basically three major factors that leads to the climate change issue being of a success in Samoa. First of all is the political will Secondly is the putting in place of the economic development in terms of the frameworks linking to priorities by government within our own statement of development strategies, action plans, that this effective frameworks and national action plans. And thirdly, the commitment of our people and the capacity that we have in-house, in country as well, and the attitude of the different ministries in willing to work together to take the issue forward in terms of utilizing the funds that is available not only within the region but in the UNFCCC process, the climate change process. So those factors, if you combine together, provides the success and in Samoa in the development that we have so far. We know that we do not contribute a lot, but if for us we take the notion that we can contribute and do our own thing to be able to mitigate and adapt to climate change.
We also caught up with PACCAN Director, a Pacific NGO group, who was pleased to be recognized for their efforts in the strategic goals of NGOs and communities.
This symbolizes the openness of the governments, the national governments, and also the regional agencies to include us in the team, the Pacific team, to combat climate change. So this is really important to us, and we embraced the invitation when it came to us, not only to be part of the PCCR, but also to be part of the steering committee. So it is important because at last the role that the NGOs play within the Pacific is being recognized and being embraced by our regional agencies and also our national governments. From what we presented to the PCCR yesterday was that, they write the policies, we implement them. They propose projects, we are on the ground. So we are the people, we are the organizations which actually work in the communities to implement what the national governments and what the regional leaders decide to do. So it is important to us to work hand in hand with them because we will concentrate on implementing on the ground while they concentrate on policy making and getting funding and as such.
Now you're from Tuvalu. Your situation is very difficult in regards to the changes that has occurred within the last how many years. What are your thoughts on, what you will get out of this meeting that will help assist Tuvalu, especially Tuvalu?
Well, being from Tuvalu, I know how it is to live in the front line of this climate change issue. And from this meeting, one of the positive things that came out of this meeting was the efforts put together by participants in the whole PCCR meeting to have one voice from the Pacific into the international community. Because in the past we have been going with our own different voices, and that is how the others managed to get in and divide us up. For us, we believe that a strong voice needs to come out of the Pacific as one, and to support our cause, we need everybody on board, and coming together as one, as a Pacific voice, and presenting ourselves to the world will definitely advocate our cause.
Today is the final day of the workshop before participants depart for their respective countries tomorrow. Niue is in the forefront as it showcased progress towards renewable energy sources as power generation initiatives. Participants from the region have been in workshops facilitated by the Niue Power Corporation and the Pacific Island Greenhouse Gases Abatement Renewable Energy Project. This is a follow-up workshop following the installation of solar projects on the island at the Niue Fall Hospital and Niue High School in 2009. And today we spoke to the project manager for the Pikarip project.
The participants from the PICs come and see what has been going on in terms of the technical aspects of the grid connects. See if there's any lesson that has to be learned, or then from there they will have to take back whatever lesson gained to their own countries and improve on whatever their existing grid connects in their countries, or whatever they are planning and whatever lesson they have learned here, they can incorporate that into their planning so that whatever has been the problem in Niue won't be repeated in their countries. So basically, like every day we've been doing discussions, presentations and site visits. So like now, today, we are doing discussions on mainly on the grid connecting here in Niue, and some of the presentations that the countries have given. So we are discussing what are the progresses and what would be the setbacks, if there's any, so that we can go back and improve on this and so forth. So like now we are discussing solar and diesel. Which one is the best option? And it depends. We are small island states. What is the need for? Basically maybe lighting. And if we move on further, maybe powering some very heavy equipment, which we might need diesel. So diesel, we cannot run away from it. But we're trying to lessen the amount of diesel being used, hence lessen the amount of greenhouse gases that have been emitted into the atmosphere. Though we are small in terms of emitting greenhouse gases, we are the most vulnerable ones in the Pacific. So we should tell the world that though we emit less, we are the vulnerable ones. So please follow suit.
Niue's power grid will serve as a model for the region that can be modified to suit each country. But this week's workshop was also a chance to highlight Niue's efforts towards harnessing renewable energy such as solar to generate power and to minimize reliance on diesel fuel that contributes to greenhouse gas emissions.
According to what we've seen and what I've heard from Speedo, Paul and his technicians, the two systems are working all right. Yeah, okay. But there's some technical problems in terms of some other components that needs to be put in to cater for any backfiring in the system, like heavy feedbacks from heavy-duty equipment.
According to the Niue Power Corporation, Niue is currently operating with 11% power generated from the solar projects, but the target is to reach 20% or more. Increasing awareness of the health consequences associated with climate change was the focus of a public meeting held at Makini this morning. Dr. Tewila Percival and Vilino Sa are visiting this week as part of a World Health Organization project helping health departments in 5 countries to develop their own climate change and health vulnerability plans suited to the problems of each country.
Some really good points came out. One of the important ones was how local villages wanted to be prepared themselves for disasters. So there was a bit of talk about evacuation centres being suitable for particular disasters and having water tanks and sanitation suitable for large numbers of people. So people talked about that, and they also talked about training up of people in villages with basic first aid, because sometimes in disasters roads don't work and it can take a couple of days before help comes to you. So that was a very, very good suggestion, and the Director of Health thought that was a good idea, and she's quite happy to support that.
According to Te Willa Percival, some of the main findings is that there is a need for more local health data, local data adaptation strategies, and for this information to be included in national plans on climate change. There is also a concern for food security and the health effects of poor nutrition, as well as the increasing effects of infectious diseases. There are also some common illnesses and diseases found that are either indirectly or directly related to climate change.
Well, anything related to water, supply and water quality, so skin diseases, diarrhoea, and then anything related to poor nutrition or food security, so some of the chronic diseases like diabetes and obesity can be made worse with poor food security. We also see in some countries some diseases directly related to just simple temperature going up. So you tend to see increased deaths, increased heart attacks, and particularly in vulnerable people at times when the temperature goes up very high. So there's a wide spectrum of diseases and health concerns.
Te Willa says that there is already a lot being done by health departments in the region, but it is a matter of putting it all together in a coordinated fashion and to incorporate these into national plans. Now, those are our news stories that we have for you this evening. We do hope that you'll be able to join us again for our next news bulletin next week.